OpenCode just passed 189,000 stars on GitHub, and somewhere around 8 million developers are using it every month. That makes it the most popular open-source coding agent ever. And honestly, it's not even close anymore. But the interesting part is not the star count. The interesting part is what this project turned into over the last year, because it started as a simple terminal tool, and now it's a whole ecosystem with a desktop app, an IDE extension, its own model gateway, and even its own subscription plans. So today I want to walk through the entire OpenCode ecosystem, show you how the pieces fit together, and figure out where it actually beats tools like Claude Code and Cursor, and where it still loses. Quick bit of context first, because the company behind this matters. OpenCode is built by Anomaly, the team that used to be known as SST. They rebranded a while back, so the repo now lives at anomalyco/OpenCode. If you have old Docker images or scripts pointing at the SST org, those will break, so keep that in mind. This is the same team behind models.dev, which is a public directory of AI models and providers, and OpenCode plugs straight into it. That's part of why the model support is so wide. And the model support really is the core idea here. OpenCode works with more than 75 providers: Anthropic, OpenAI, Google, DeepSeek, Grok, OpenRouter, AWS Bedrock, Azure, and local models through Llama. You bring your own API key, pick whatever model you want, and you can even switch models in the middle of a session and keep your context. So if you start a task with a cheap model and it gets stuck, you swap to a stronger one without losing anything. No other mainstream agent does vendor freedom at this level. Claude Code is Anthropic only. Codex is OpenAI only. OpenCode does not care whose model you run. Alright, let me show you the basic setup, because it takes about 2 minutes. You install it with a single curl command from opencode.ai, or through npm, Homebrew, Chocolatey, Scoop, whatever you use. On Windows, they recommend running it inside WSL for the best experience. Once it's installed, you cd into your project, type OpenCode, and you're in the terminal UI. From there, you run the /connect command to hook up a provider. You paste an API key, and that's it. Then you run /init, and OpenCode scans your whole project and writes an agents.md file in the root. That file teaches the agent your project's conventions, your folder structure, your patterns. It's the same idea as the claude.md file in Claude Code, and you should commit it to Git so your whole team benefits from it. Inside the terminal UI, you get 2 primary agents by default, build and plan, and you flip between them with the tab key. Plan mode is read-only. It figures out how it would implement a feature, but doesn't touch your files. So the workflow that works best for me is describe the feature in plan mode, argue with the plan a little, then hit tab and tell it to build. You can also drag an image straight into the terminal, like a design screenshot, and it reads it as part of the prompt. And if the agent makes changes you hate, /undo reverts them, and it stacks, so you can undo multiple steps and then /redo if you change your mind. That undo system alone has saved me more times than I want to admit. Now here's where OpenCode gets genuinely deeper than most agents, and that's custom subagents. On top of build and plan, you can define your own specialist agents, either in the JSON config or as markdown files inside a .opencode folder. Each one gets its own model, its own temperature, its own permissions, and its own system prompt. So for example, I have a front-end agent running GLM 5.2 because that model performs really well on design benchmarks, and a code review agent running a Claude model with the temperature set near 0 so the output stays consistent. When I'm working, I just type the symbol, tag the agent, and it handles that slice of the task with the right model. This is basically manual model routing, and once you set it up, it's cheaper and often better than paying one flagship model to do everything. And a recent update stopped subagents from spawning their own nested subagents by default, which used to burn tokens fast, so that whole system is more predictable now. There's also a skills system, MCP server support, custom/commands, plugins, and an SDK if you want to build on top of it. One tip that most people miss: turn on LSP support in your config. It auto-starts the right language server for each file, so the model sees real type errors and diagnostics instead of just raw text. It's off by default, and it noticeably cuts down on dumb mistakes. Okay, the desktop app. This is the newest big piece of the ecosystem, and it changes who OpenCode is for. It's a proper app for macOS, Windows, and Linux, and they just finished shipping what they call the Desktop V2 layout, with first launch onboarding, a command palette, tabbed sessions, a built-in terminal, and a review pane for checking diffs before you accept them. You can run multiple sessions side by side in tabs, search across old sessions from the home screen, and it even connects to remote machines, so the agent runs on your server while you drive it from your laptop. On Windows, it talks to WSL under the hood. The point is, you no longer need to be a terminal person to use this. Someone who finds the command line intimidating can run the exact same agent in a normal-looking app. There's a VS Code extension too, plus a web interface, plus a GitHub integration where you mention OpenCode in an issue and it opens a pull request. Same engine everywhere. Now let's talk money, because this is where the story got interesting this year. The software itself is free, MIT licensed forever. You only pay for models, but Anomaly now has 3 ways to pay them if you want to. First is Zen, which is a pay-as-you-go gateway of models they've tested and benchmarked specifically for agent work, sold basically at provider cost, with a small card processing fee as the only markup. You set spend limits, you top up credits, done. Second is Go, which is $10 a month, and they aim to give you around 6 times that in model usage by buying GPU capacity in bulk and passing the discount on. It's aimed at international users, with hosting in the US, EU, and Singapore, and a zero retention policy on your code. For anyone outside the big Tier 1 markets, $10 a month for real frontier-adjacent usage is a serious offer. And third is Black, a higher subscription tier promising access to the best closed models, Claude, GPT, Gemini, all of it. Enrollment on that one is temporarily paused right now, which tells you demand outran capacity. So a free open-source project quietly built a revenue model that competes directly with Cursor and Copilot subscriptions. And it did that without locking anyone in, because Zen and Go keys work with other agents too. One thing you do need to know: Anthropic blocks their Pro and Max subscriptions from working inside third-party harnesses like OpenCode. That fight happened publicly, and it's still the rule. So if you want Claude models in OpenCode, you're paying Anthropic API rates, or going through Zen. Meanwhile, ChatGPT Plus and GitHub Copilot subscriptions can plug in as backends, and the official Copilot partnership from January means any paid Copilot user can authenticate straight into OpenCode. That contrast says a lot about where each company thinks the market is going. So, honest verdict time. On flexibility, OpenCode wins, and nothing else is really in the argument. On raw agent performance, it depends entirely on the model you plug in, and some head-to-head tests have found it slower than Claude Code on the same model, trading speed for more thorough exploration of the codebase. On cost, if you're paying API rates anyway, OpenCode plus cheap open-weight models like GLM 5.2 or DeepSeek is dramatically cheaper than any flagship subscription. If you're already deep in a Claude Max plan, Claude Code still gives you more usage per dollar inside that bubble. And on privacy, OpenCode runs fully offline with local models, which for a lot of companies is the whole decision. The bigger picture is what I keep coming back to, though. In 12 months, this went from a terminal experiment to 8 million monthly developers, a desktop app, a model gateway, and paid plans, while Cursor got acquired, Windsurf got split up, and Gemini CLI got shut down. The independent open source option turned out to be the stable one. That was not the outcome anyone predicted, and it's why OpenCode is the default recommendation I give people right now. If this was useful, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.